All right, welcome back, Armchair. Back in Canada,
Hey,
out of
I made
America.
it. I
Four
made it.
flights later, you had made your way home.
Five flights, four airports yesterday. No, 2 days ago. The Monday coming home, it was Indy to Philly, Philly to Ottawa, Ottawa to Halifax.
Yeah, I want no
Journey
part of
started
that.
at four. Journey started at 4 a.m. and I made it all the way back. But we're here. We back.
Oh, I'm glad you made it. I'm sure we have plenty of combine talk to get to. Um, I had a couple things off the rip before we get into any sports. Just some,
Let's go.
my random stuff. First of all, rest in peace to Around the Horn. Just-
I'm kind of sad about that, to be honest.
I am too.
PCI, what's up, Dark Soldier?
I grew up watching Around the Horn. Tony Reali's the man.
He was
He
Stat Boy on
reposted
PTI.
a bunch of stuff on Twitter, like the he was saying about the show, and it sucks, but it was an awesome show. I haven't watched it myself in years, but always fond memories, and a big
Good
part
done.
of ESPN television, the good ESPN television, gone.
Yeah.
So R.I.P. Around the
It's
Horn.
uh it's sad to see. It's sad to see, man.
Dumbass Bob Ryan up there representing Boston.
Tony Reali was Stat Boy
Yeah.
on PTI early days.
Yep.
He would be the errors, the fixer of the errors from Kornheiser and Wilbon. It was a good time.
Um, March Madness right around the corner. I can smell it.
Can't
It's
wait.
coming up. I got days off to watch the first round. It is a holiday. I can't wait.
Are we gonna do a live bracket?
Yeah, we'll do a
Gonna
bracket.
fill
We'll
a live
definitely do a
we'll do a
bracket. I'm
live
sure we'll
bracket.
do something in the Discord, and I'm gonna be doing my own bracket stuff. I can't wait. Best time of the
Can't
year. I'll
wait.
have my tournament
Can't wait,
guys
baby.
article for the newsletter again. Top 10 tournament
Yes.
guys. Um, Casey Anthony's becoming a legal advocate on TikTok. Wild move. Comments
This
disabled, by the way. No comments. Turn
that's
those on, and we'll
probably
see how long you want to be a legal advocate for there, Mr.
probably for the
Anthony.
best.
Yeah, definitely for the best. And then last thing before we get into some stuff, I talked with this on the half ounce half hour. Shout out Mark and Josh. We are back on Thursdays. Doing every other Thursday. We did two in a row, but I will not be on
Hmm.
this week. Um, so I was at a bowling alley last week, 2 weeks ago, with a couple of my friends. Haven't been in a long
Yep.
time. Was terrible. It was bowled terribly. There was no Pete Weber like, who do you think you are? I am. There was none of that. There was this old dude a couple lanes down that was perfect through 6 frames, and I started watching strictly him, but he botched it about halfway through. Anyway, I go up to the bar. There's these two older guys there. They've been in there the whole time I've been there. It's like my third time up to the bar. They're talking about the Jeffrey Dahmer documentary on Netflix. One of them, I don't know which exactly, to the bartender.
Sure.
And the guy on the end of the bar is like, it's crazy. Like, you would think you'd see the signs if you were a parent, like your child is skinning animals and stuff. Like, we clearly have a problem here. Other guy at the bar goes, yeah. He's like, who would do that? And then the guy goes, yeah. He goes, my son. What? I kind of, I've got dark humor.
Oh
I'm,
boy.
I was like,
Oh
ha,
boy.
kind of a fucked up joke, a little dry, but delivery could have been better. But all right. Let me see. And then I quickly realized he was not joking. And they're like, "Are you serious?" He's like, "Yep." Took a sip of his drink. Looked over there a couple minutes later. Both guys gone. Like, that was conversation under everybody out of there. Unsettling to say the least.
That's time to dip.
Yeah, I
We out. That's deuces and I'm gone.
that guy was at the bar to drown away his home sorrows or something. Like, I
There's
was
a
like,
reason that guy
is
was
your son at this bowling alley right now? Like, do we need to leave?
there's a reason he was drinking at the bowling alley.
Yeah,
Like not bowling. He was like at the bar at the bowling alley.
tucked away in a corner
This-
somewhere, and he's like, "God
that
damn it!"
is
Somebody started talking about Jeffrey Dahmer. It's like
that is
a
a
crazy,
price.
a crazy joke if that's what it was, and if it's not, a crazy thing to say out loud to strangers at a bar.
Absolutely unhinged.
Yeah, I was like, that was crazy. I went back and told all of my people I was with. I was like, this
I love that.
bananas.
I love
But
it.
anyway, yeah, let's get into sports. I just had to share that with you because I was gonna tell you on the show last week, and then I pushed over to the half ounce.
Things happen. I get it.
Yeah.
We
Oh, Armchair's back in the cloffice, the nightly cutout. I know we are going on to hockey. We didn't really touch on the final game for the Four Nations. He's back. He's furious that
So
he's
mad.
back.
I am furious.
we
I
never
am furious.
we never got to talk about the Four Nations final on the show. We were on the night before. It's been 2 weeks now, but thoughts? Fantastic end of the tournament in my book.
Yes. I know it wasn't what you wanted as an American, but
No, I had
how can you
full
how can you
on
argue
Jordan
with
Binnington PTSD flashbacks to Game 7 in the Garden. He was lights out in OT. There was like 5 shots the U.S. had that he just came out of nowhere.
how can you argue with a Connor McDavid overtime winner though in any kind of hockey tournament, like
It's
championship goal?
can't. It couldn't have ended
Also-
on a more poetic. Like the way it started and the way the tournament ended just could not be. Couldn't have written it better.
Austin Matthews may not want to leave Connor McDavid wide open in the slot. I don't know
Well, did you
who told
fucking-
him to abandon.
Mitch Marner,
Like,
I
what do you-
think, just read the shit out of him. He's like, I know exactly
Yes.
what Austin Matthews is going to do here. He baited him out a little bit, and once he did, he had McDavid wide open for the game winner. That was Mitch Marner knowing Matthews'
Yes.
deficiencies on defense.
It was the battle of the two chokers, Marner and Matthews. One would be triumphant, and in this case, it was Marner. Although Matthews was a ghost for most of the tournament. To be honest,
He was.
he didn't do much. He did not do
It was
much.
the
for
Kachuk.
the American
It was the
side.
Kachuk show for the
Bash Bros.
Yeah, and Jacob Slavin being the best lockdown
Jacob
defenseman
Slavin is
in the NHL.
Underrated as a defenseman. Give him all the credit.
Yeah, him and Brock Faber are gonna be Team USA defensemen for like a decade plus. Like they're both nasty, and they played fantastic together.
They were phenomenal. The only other takeaway I had from that tournament is how incredible it would have been to have Russia. I know they're on timeout right now,
Yep.
but boy, that roster would have been unbelievable. And I don't know if they wouldn't have won the whole thing. They had scoring and depth, and I can't imagine. The only good thing about it is that Ovi had all that extra time off, and then came back and like the second game back from the break scored a hattie. So we're getting close to Ovi countdown time. Which I love. Any other big? I mean, other than we got fighting in an international tournament. We had 3 fights in 9 seconds in that first game.
Yep.
We had outstanding goaltending. Like Binnington, all of a sudden learned how to play goalie again. Like it was absolutely like Stanley Cup winning St. Louis Blues. I know you love that.
5-on-5 OT.
5-on-5 OT until somebody wins. No shootout nonsense. It was
No
everything you
3-on-3
could.
nonsense.
Is there anything that would have made the tournament better? I don't think so. I don't think so.
No.
Canada didn't even bring its best guys.
Also, you still have the fact that like both Canada and USA went into the other team's barn and won, so it's really not settled.
Yeah.
Which
It's
is
not
perfect
settled
for
at
the
all.
next time we see each other, whether it's the Olympics or
It's the Olympics.
well, it's going to be
It'll
the
be the
Olympics, but the next time this tournament comes around too, whenever that may be, like
There's
it
going
was
to be a little bit
perfect
of
for
grudge
hockey.
settling.
It was perfect for hockey. The fact that I wrote an article about it in the newsletter, but the fact they went head up with the NBA All-Star Weekend, which is horrible, by
crushed
the way, crushed them. Wasn't even
Worst
close.
All-Star game. Worst All-Star weekend in the history of All-Star weekends,
Yep.
NBA or the Pro Bowl, and it's the NBA by a
The
by a
thing
mile.
I saw the most was 40-year-old LeBron not playing in the All-Star game was the thing I saw clipped the most from the NBA All-Star shit. Not hockey. I hope they keep it going. I hope the playoffs are fucking fantastic. Got the Olympics next year. Hopefully another one of these tournaments the year after. Like just keep building on it.
We had a couple of trades in the NHL.
Yeah.
That have happened already. The big one today, Tampa Bay acquires Yanni Gourde and Oliver Bjorkstrand and a 2026 Seattle 5th round pick. And Seattle got Tampa's 1st round pick in 26, 1st round pick in 27, a Toronto Maple Leafs pick in 2025 in the 2nd round, and Mikey Asamont Then Tampa Bay's next first round pick is in 2028. They are the definition of all the way in.
All the way in, which is like you lost Stamkos in the offseason. Obviously, that hurt. I think Tampa realized they needed to beef themselves up if they wanted to compete in the Atlantic, especially with Florida getting Seth Jones from Chicago, which is another huge deal. Definitely needed to beef it up. Yanni Gord coming back to Tampa. He's been struggling a little bit. Hopefully coming home will wake him up a little bit for Tampa. I really like Bjorkstrand. He was Seattle's only All-Star last year. I think he's super underrated. Obviously, picks hard to come by if you're the Tampa Bay Lightning for a long time. Good comp is the Rams in the NFL. Like, just
Absolutely.
never have draft picks. We're always bringing in talent. You better win. Better get another one at least with this core. So that's a lot to give up.
I mean, it's a lot to give up.
And Yanni Gord has like 18 points this year.
Your Bruins made a deal, sending Trent Friedrich.
R.I.P.
So I'm just going to say who got what because it's a little bit. It's a three-way deal.
It's a little confusing.
So, Friedrich, Max Jones, and Peter Hauser are all gone to the Oilers.
Yep.
Max Warner, I'm going to call him Warner. A second-round pick in 25 and a fourth-round pick in 26 to the Bruins. And the Devils got Shane LaChance. The Bruins also retained 50% of Friedrich's cap hit. That is a solid deal for the Bees, who absolutely need to restock the cupboard after going for it on so many runs and coming up short, which means you're not picking as high as you want to be. You need those picks. It's the opposite of the Rams. Yeah. You cannot say fuck the picks.
No, you need
can't
them,
do it,
especially with Brad's future uncertain. Like
he may get dealt. He may get dealt. How are you feeling about that?
We'll get to that. He's on my list for our activity in a little bit. But I like the trade for the Bees. Like you said, we need to restock draft picks. Trent Frederick, as much as I like him as a player, he was a first round pick. He was another one of those guys that we struck out on. And we keep doing this draft in and draft out. Like, we're going to have to turn around at some point. Sitting below 500 right now. It's time to start bringing in some draft picks. Like this, McAvoy's hurt, Brad's hurt, contract uncertain, just not playing anywhere up to what we thought we would after the free agent acquisitions. I like it.
Need help. You need help.
Yep.
This is the right time to sell.
I think it's a fantastic move for Edmonton too.
It's a great move for Edmonton. Edmonton needs help. They're in a bit of trouble now because
Frederick loves to drop the fucking gloves. He's ready to fight.
Yes. Evander Kane, currently on LTR, wants to come back. He's skating, and Edmonton desperately needs him to stay on LTR until the playoffs. Because if he doesn't, they're going to have to trade Kaner to free up some space, which is ugly. Lastly, my Montreal Canadiens also made a move. Took a look at some offers and said, we'll just keep our guy. Re-signed one of the top center rentals, Jake Evans, who's been having a hell of a season. He's been absolutely phenomenal. Would have probably gotten a second or a third round pick. It's not like we're not talking about first round comp here, but for a rental center, that would have been pretty phenomenal. Instead, the AAV is like, I think 2.5. It's nothing crazy. And it's several years, and they like I like him on that team. He works really well on that team. They're doing a good job of bringing the kids up together. Just need to add an Ivan Demidov, and we'll see what happens. Cole Caulfield, also 30 goals. Let's go.
Shout out. Team USA.
It's Team USA. You just got to do it. He's the best.
The best. Another move that we talked about very briefly there. Seth Jones, Florida Panthers, picked up the defenseman from the Blackhawks. He basically was like, I want to go to a contender. Florida, one of the best places you can end up if that's where you want to be. Fourth round pick went with Seth Jones to Florida, and Panthers sent away goaltending prospect Spencer Knight and a first round pick in 2026. Knight, obviously one of the fucking Discord noise blew out my eardrums there. Um, for Spencer Knight, one of the best goaltending prospects in the league, goes around with a first round pick. This is a huge haul for Chicago, who's obviously not trying to contend right now anyway. Seth Jones is obviously a nice piece, but you're looking forward to the Bedard years and adding as many draft picks as you possibly can there. So I like this move for both teams. Fucking hate the Panthers, but goddamn, I think they're missing Ekman Larson and a little bit more than they thought they would, and getting a Seth Jones obviously buffs up that defense
Helps.
for sure. Yeah, and
Helps big
he's
time.
gonna play that same way that Florida likes to play too.
Yeah. My Discord quite literally updated in the middle of our conversation.
My
Phenomenal.
Discord is, it's a love-hate relationship. It'll work absolutely fine for a little bit, and then there's
move
times
away
where
from
you're like,
Discord
this
in a
doesn't
minute.
do
We're gonna
anything.
probably just Zoom or something. I don't know. No, go to Zoom. We'll figure something
We'll
out.
figure something out. Doesn't like the Clawfus. Discord needs room to breathe, I guess. Needs room for activities. So next up for our hockey stuff, besides Ovi absolutely heating up, the record watch is on. Hat trick post 4 Nations, absolutely on fire. Always been thought of as an unbreakable record, and he's so close to getting there. What's up, AC?
AC's having a day. I'm having a day. My whole computer hates me tonight. Hey, look, if you ever want to help us out, you know, I don't even know what to fix here. The internet's fine. It just completely died.
Sound good now. This is the best you've been in the whole show.
That's fine. That's fantastic. I love that. It's absolutely going to help us continue on and grow. All right. Where are we going next, Dubs? So you're leading the show tonight, baby.
I have NHL trade targets for the deadline. I want you to give me a true or false if they're going to be traded or not, moved at the deadline.
All right.
5 of them. I almost did 10 when I was like, nah, that's too much. We're going to do 5.
Okay.
First up, Brock Besser, Vancouver Canucks. He was asked the other day, Wednesday. Oh, I guess it was today. I'm trying not to really think about that when asked if this could be his last time suiting up for the Canucks in their next game. I honestly have no idea what's going to happen, so I'm really just trying to focus on the game tonight. Obviously, it might be a little difficult, but I'm going to do the best I can, really dial it in, and be prepared to go out there and work hard. 18 goals and 18 assists this year in 53 games for Besser, who spent his whole career in Vancouver.
False.
False. You do not think he's gone. I think he is. I think Besser's
I think Besser stays.
The way he answered those media questions makes me feel like he knows he's out of there.
Makes me feel like he knows that he's being talked about, but I don't think they can pull the trigger on it. It'd have to be a heck of a haul for Besser.
I mean, they already got rid of JT Miller. That locker room is, we've heard all the rumors.
They may need to get rid of everybody.
Right. It might be
except for Artur Shelovs.
Irreparable. Your boy?
Yeah. Shelov stays. Patrick Demko can't stay healthy enough to keep him in the mix, so I don't know what to do.
We sell everything and we build around Shelovs. Ship them out.
It's just do it around Shelovs.
Building blocks, baby. Next up, near and dear to my heart, Brad Marchand. Contract coming up. They've been negotiating all season. He's currently hurt. Both sides have said they're eager to get a deal done, but obviously nothing has come of it yet. Captain of the team.
I want to say false.
But I feel
like it's true. But I'm going to say false.
Sad. I'll be upset.
False.
It would also be the second time a captain was traded this season, because Trouba got traded from the Rangers. I wonder when the last time that happened was.
Doesn't happen often.
No.
Does not happen often. I think it's probably false. He is really interested in kind of ending his career in Boston.
Yeah.
And I think it's just a matter of figuring out what his worth is in that locker room, but also what his worth is to himself. He's made a ton of money, and if he wants to, if he's looking for another cup run, and he's like, I'm done, can we go for a run? He may say, get me out of here. But I don't know. I get the impression that him and Sid and those other guys, they're built different. They want to be like a one-team guy. That's my impression. They don't want to go like McKinnon doesn't want to be somewhere else. He wants to be an Avalanche.
Right.
Wants to be in Colorado forever.
I'd be shocked if Brad got traded. I really would.
I would be too.
The organization's going to trick themselves into being like, well, I mean, we're not that far out. Season's still out there. If we get everybody healthy, we all know how I feel about that. But
yes, sir.
Do what you got to do. I'd be upset if they trade Brad. I'd be very shocked as well.
We'll go false.
Next up, the second Brock on the list. We've had two Brocks and a Brad. Frat club vibes.
Yep.
Brock Nelson played all of his 901 career games for the New York Islanders. True. Final year of his 6-year contract. I agree, true.
Super true.
Definitely out of there. He might be out of there like by tomorrow.
It might be out of there before we finish the show.
Yeah.
It's super true.
43 points this year, 20 goals, 23 assists in 61 games. Just had 2 points the other night.
He's a great player.
Yeah. Can I predict where he goes?
Yep.
Winnipeg.
It wouldn't surprise me. Winnipeg's on a run. They want to go.
I think
they're ready. They're on their horse and they're ready to go.
Somewhat, I don't want to say cheap, affordable enough for them to bring in. And he's obviously a veteran, having a fantastic season. I don't know off the top of my head what his career bests are, but I imagine he's pretty close to a career season.
Yeah, I would say so.
And they need a center. So I think it's a match made in heaven.
Desperately need a center.
Get it done.
I agree. Yep.
Next, John Gibson, goalie, Ducks. Kind of a shitty contract. He's getting a lot of money, $6.5 million till 2027. But this year he's had a bit of a resurgence. 9.43 goals saved above average in 24 appearances. Ducks are terrible. I would be willing to listen to offers for just about anybody on that team. And if you want to give me, I don't know.
Who needs a goalie?
That's the question.
That's the problem with goalies is like, unless you need one, you're not going to take a shitty one. And no offense to Gibson, he's like, in my opinion, he's a great backup or a 1A or 1B, sorry. But you still need a guy. Like you still need like a main start. Like if you needed to spell Hellebuck, for a game. I get it, but you don't you're not going to go nanners.
Yeah, right.
You're not going to. He's not going to be the starter. It's not like in Boston where you had the two studs who could both be starters. I'm going to go false because I don't
think
see anyone. I don't think anyone that's in the playoff race right now needs a high-end backup for the money that it would cost.
It would definitely take a big the Ducks would have to retain a bunch of salary.
If the Ducks were retaining. If the Ducks retained 75% of salary or split it amongst a bunch of teams, probably true. For a 5th round pick or something, sure. But I think false for now.
And then this one, a little crazy because he's already been traded this year, but the name has popped back up, and it's not often that somebody of this caliber will be brought up once in trade rumors, let alone twice. Mikko Rantanen.
It's true.
You think he's out again? I
do.
I kind of do too. The fact that it's gaining as much traction as it is, and how crazy the notion is, makes me think it's going to happen. Because he was just traded a couple weeks ago from Colorado. Obviously, Rantanen has not really fit in with Carolina so far. Has been kind of lost out there. Just 2 goals in 9 games. Hasn't really looked comfortable at all. People are questioning the fit. He himself has already said that he's still on figuring out if he wants to be here, not what would a contract look like here, which is, if you're Carolina, you're that's a red flag.
That's a super red flag.
You traded it for this guy not for a 1-year run. He could be a franchise cornerstone with guys like Aho and Svechnikov and Slavin. That's what you traded for him to do. And if there's a possibility you're not going to get anything out of it, I say get him the fuck out of here and get as much assets as you possibly can. Your team's good enough without him anyway to still make a cup run.
I look at it and go, so your team was winning without the guy.
Yep.
You got rid of
not doing
a
much,
guy.
Still winning.
You got rid of a guy who basically was asking for more money than you were willing to give him in Natchez. You could probably get a serviceable player back in a deal plus some draft capital, and parlay that into a nice return for like a nice flip, big return on investment there. Like a
Right.
really big, like
Right.
you could offload that and be like, oh, I got some more draft picks back, and I got a player that actually wants to be here. I don't know where he's going, but like I know that
It
teams have
has to
reached
be.
out.
It has to be a contender, and
Has to
the Hurricanes aren't going to trade him.
in the East.
No, they won't do it.
It'll be a West Coast team.
Yep.
I don't know. I think it's true. It feels weird, but I think it's true. But then you got a reputation. Then you're a reputation of like guy that has to be moved a bunch. You know.
And like, what are you looking to get back if you're Carolina? Are you getting a winger back? Are you just going for draft capital? Like,
I think you want like a winger 3 or winger 4. Like you just want a guy that can play. That maybe an energy guy, maybe someone on like a. I keep
controllable
thinking of
contracts.
guys. Yeah, I keep thinking of guys that were always buzz guys. Like Yoel Armia on Montreal is like that kind of guy where he's not going to win you the game necessarily, but he's an energy guy. Kind of like a Mason Lohrei kind of does it from the back end a
Yeah.
bit. Like he's a big body, come in check. He might screw you up a couple of times.
I
You
was
know,
thinking
there's a
Chris Kelly back in the day for the Bruins.
Chris Kelly, yeah. There's a whole list of these guys that will absolutely be the fit that they need. You just need an energy guy, and then you just say score sometimes when you can. We might put you on the power play, but probably not. We don't need you. Call it a day. Call it a day and move on. Like get out of there. If he doesn't want to be there, get something back and be done with it now. Don't waste your time. We're back to the NFL mind frame, which is like I can't waste years to see if this quarterback is any good. They're not going to waste years to see if Rantanen is going to fit or decide he wants to stay in Carolina. He doesn't. He said he doesn't want to. He's basically like
He's pretty much said he does not. He does not want to be there.
he's not interested. So like, let him go. Get something back for him. You tried it. It didn't work. Call it a day. Move on. Get something new.
It always like blows my mind what it must be like getting traded. Not only once in a year, like living situation. It's like, where the fuck am I gonna do when I go to this new city? But imagine Randon probably just settled in somewhere a little bit, like at least a little bit,
Yeah.
apartment, something, condo.
Like
and-
finally unpacked.
yeah, and then now he's like, I might get fucking booted again.
Yeah, got booted again. Son of a bitch.
Sent up to
Just
Canada.
come-
He's got to change, passports and shit. Ugh.
Oh, he would hate that.
Sounds like a mess.
Yeah,
Sounds
it's
like
not fun.
something that was way too stressful. Sounds like DMV level
thank you.
bad.
Yeah, I'm not into it. All right.
Those are my 5.
That's a great 5. It's a great 5.
I like it.
That
Other
brings
guy
us,
on the Bruins that could get moved too, Morgan Geekie. Huge season this year. Second,
I love Geek.
I like Geekie too, but it's a second career year in a row. He's a restricted free agent. Could be a decent haul pick wise.
Austin needs to sell as high as they can on some of these guys. They are not going to be around for the next run,
Nope.
which is why I think Brad might get dealt, but I don't know. We'll see. We'll see.
The only people I'm fully attached to keeping are Lohrei, Pasternak, and McAvoy. Other than that, I'm not attached to fucking anybody.
You need Pasta.
Yeah,
Pasta's
have
fine.
to. He's now your franchise. You have to build around
Well,
him.
he's been your franchise for a little while.
Well,
let's be-
yes, he has been, but you know what I mean. If Brad
do.
gets traded, you're literally the last guy left from the other regime, aside from McAvoy.
So we don't really have baseball conversation right now because we're in the throes of spring training. Is there anything that stood out to you that you're like want to get off your chest? Because I like game wise, it's been up and down. It's the same nonsense that I keep seeing. Everybody's doing well. Everybody's in the best shape of their life.
Yeah, Bregman is absolutely raking.
Yeah, in spring.
Yeah, in spring. It's
In spring.
basically Fenway. The I saw the Navy baseball team had Jolly Roger uniforms this weekend.
Spectacular.
Oh, they were sick.
How do you feel about
I don't
so
think they've used them yet, but I saw them this weekend. They
there was a
look sick.
conversation about conversation about minor league teams using alternate identities, and how someone didn't like that. I'm a fan. Give me like the marketing in minor league is
What do you mean by alternate
phenomenal.
identities?
So like the Lugnuts play as something else.
Oh yeah, I
Like
don't
they
give a
didn't
shit.
play
It's
like
minor league
there was like
fucking.
an
Who cares? It's minor
there's
leagues.
there's like you wanted to go see a Lugnuts game and you ended up
Yeah,
with like the aliens or something, and it's like, yeah, but the frozen pizza's pretty dope too.
right. Make some
What
fucking.
are we really worried about?
They're just making some money, man. It's not
I
that
just
deep.
I want my minor league teams to be more and more outrageous by the
Yeah, the
day.
more outrageous,
I
especially
do,
baseball, like the more outrageous minor league baseball teams, the better.
I do not need to worry about like San Antonio missions are great, but like, can you give me like something like the San Antonio toaster strudels? Can we have
Yeah,
those?
that'd be sick. Who's
It's
the?
like the Pop Tart.
Was it Connecticut as the yard goats? Like that's fun.
Yeah, yeah. Obviously, the
Make it
bananas are
unique.
around.
Yeah, right.
They play a little bit different. They're fun.
Flying squirrels,
Um,
the baby cakes.
we had
So
we
much
had the
fucking
trash
wild
pandas.
trash pandas. Yeah.
That's phenomenal. Give me that all day long. Um, in the spirit of baseball, though, we can't forget about our favorite sport. I think it's time for another blind ranking.
Oh, let's do it.
I'm going to give you
If
five
I like broke out
ballpark
the mask and the stick every time we did this, like, full
five
character.
five five ballpark foods that you can get at basically any ballpark. So this is food or drink, and I want you
Drink.
to rank them. Yeah, with food or drink, food or drink.
Okay.
All right,
All right.
and I want you to rank them in order. Your like number one being the best, number five being the worst. We're gonna start
Got it.
off with an easy one. Is a hot dog.
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go. It's one or two. I feel like because it's the first one you listed off, I'm gonna put it at two, so I have, a little leeway. I kind of run with the strategy when we do this. I like to have leeway. I don't want to put something number one right away,
I
but
want to pigeonhole yourself.
exactly. But a hot dog is like
Pretty iconic.
it's like the ballpark food, like ballpark Franks.
Hmm.
Also Fenway, like we got the Fenway Franks, street meat outside, fucking sausages and all that stuff. It's
We
like
have
it's like I'm gonna
dollar
put it
dog
two.
days at the Rogers Center.
I gotta go
Dollar
two.
dog days at the Rogers Center, so that's pretty
Yeah,
on brand too.
there's like
A lot of
anytime
hot
I'm
dogs.
going to a baseball game, I'm getting one.
Yeah,
So
yeah. I think you
it's
have to.
got to be one or two. I'm gonna go two though, just for the sake of the
Uh,
game.
let's go with the old staple of Cracker Jacks.
Five, trash. Cracker Jacks are garbage. They're garbage. That's trash people food. They're 10. Like they're so far down. I fucking knew that. As soon as you said ballpark food, I knew that was gonna be on here, and I knew I was putting it last.
What about a warm pretzel?
I understand the appeal, but I'm not a pretzel guy. I like warm
It's doughy.
pretzels. Like the soft
The doughy
pretzels are way
pretzels. Yeah, I
fucking
don't want.
better than like the crunchy pretzels that you get for
You
like
can.
a school snack.
I'm going to tell you right now. Crunchy pretzels are they're sawdust.
They're
They're the
garbage.
worst thing on.
Yeah, no,
I
they're
I
trash.
loathe them. We have you guys have Bits and Bites. You know what that is? It's like a snack food,
No,
and they
but
have like
it
they
doesn't
have,
sound Canadian though. It sounds British.
they have a whole bunch of stuff in it, and it's like a cheese stick and like
Are you
a
describing
Chex
Lunchables?
thing. No, it's not Lunchables. It's like it's in a bag. Like you take a handful of it and eat it like chips. But they always have pretzels
Okay,
in it, and I
like
always
Chex
remove the
Mix.
pretzel. Yes, similar to
Okay,
Chex Mix.
Chex Mix. Yeah,
There you go. That's the American version. We'll get this figured out one day.
bits.
Anyway, I
I
always
like
remove the
bits and
pretzel.
bites better. Fuck Chex Mix.
All right. What about a cold beer?
That's one. That's the only thing I put. I also am not a beer guy. I'm a liquor guy, but
Yep.
there's no better beer than a ballpark beer. The only place I'm gonna drink beer is like at a sporting event, and it doesn't hit any better than like a day game.
With a hot dog?
Yeah, Saturday day game. Fuck, it's like third inning. You're like, I'm getting my second beer. I'm getting a hot dog. Things are starting to kick off. You might have some bets cooking.
So that means our number 4 is popcorn.
What was 3?
And I'm fine with that. What was 3? What'd you put as 3? We had 5 things.
You said 4 things. You said hot dog.
Well,
You said hot
a warm
dog.
pretzel.
Oh, pretzel.
Yeah.
Right. Sorry, I forgot about pretzel.
I don't know if you ranked it, but it's
Oh,
got
it's
3,
gonna
right?
put. I would have put it 4.
All right, then put it 4.
All right.
That's 4. So
Yeah.
your rank is beer, hot dog,
Yeah.
popcorn, pretzel,
Yeah.
and then like a
Cracker
billion
Jacks and
spaces.
shit. Yeah, it's a
then
way
Cracker
down.
Jacks.
Yeah.
Way at the bottom.
It's like cigarette butts off the seat in front of you. Then Cracker Jacks.
Gross. Gross. Mama comes in and says sausage over hot dog. I don't disagree, but like you can get a good hot dog.
It's one of those. Yeah, It's more bang for your buck with the sausage, obviously, but again, the same thing with like the beer at a baseball game. There's just something about it. There's something about a hot dog.
I considered doing the ice cream and the mini helmets because everybody loved that for like a
I
year.
fucking hate seeing. Oh my god, all those fucking
It's the worst
children
thing.
that are just like
Can you talk
covered
about
in
that for a second?
ice cream and shit. I know you have a small
As a-
child, Armchair, but if your child cannot behave at a sporting event, you should not be allowed to bring them. You have to have a screening before
I don't
you bring
disagree.
them in. It's fucking
Don't disagree.
atrocious how bad some parents are. Just like, yeah, no, I'm not looking. I don't care what they do. I'm watching the game.
They'll just
Why
shovel
bring
ice
them?
cream in their gullet.
Yeah.
I don't love the ice cream mini helmets because I think that they're terrible. Also, ice cream melts so fast at a
So
baseball
fast.
stadium.
Like,
So,
take
like,
anything
you got to be like
else.
drinking it. You might as well just drink the ice cream.
I'm a big like
It is
you
the
can
worst.
go out for ice cream to like an ice cream place. That's fine. I'm all for that. Other than that, eat ice cream at home. Buy a thing. Eat it
Are
at
you-
home. It doesn't need to
Are
be
you an ice?
like why are you
an
buying
ice cream guy?
ice cream places? I love ice cream.
Not a big fan.
What the fuck?
Yeah, I'll have it like sometimes, but like if you're like here's some apple pie. You want
There's
some
a
ice cream?
billion
It's like,
flavors.
yeah, of
What do
course.
you mean?
Yeah, I want the
Like
the
you
ice
may
cream
not
on
like
the
that
pie.
ice cream, but there's an ice cream
No,
you
I just
love.
No, I don't. There's like there's a bunch of flavors that I enjoy, but like I'm not going to get like an ice cream cone. I can't do it.
That's
Can't do it. Give me a dish over a cone any day of the week.
That's a hot take.
Dish over cone any day of the week.
Oh, dish over cone for sure. That's not a hot take. Just your like lukewarm ice cream take is wild.
That's fine.
It's the best.
I like
It's
chips,
the best
man. I like
dessert, and it's
salty.
it's so
don't eat
versatile. You can
dessert.
literally, there's so many flavors.
Don't eat dessert.
I
I'm
don't
not a
either,
dessert
but
guy.
if I'm going to, it's gonna be ice cream.
I'm fine with ice cream. At home,
Milkshakes?
Sure. Give me a bowl. I like milkshakes. I
Milkshake
do like
slab.
Milkshakes do slab. That's like ice cream adjacent,
I mean, it's ice cream. It's just
but it's with ice cream with other stuff. It's drinkable ice cream. It's not the same.
you want to hear a
I gotta eat
crazy
with the s-
concept, Armchair? Novel concept. You can let your ice cream melt, and
Yeah,
then
but I
you
don't
can
want to do
drink
that
it.
because then you got to drink it from a bowl. It's awful.
Put it in a cup.
That's awful. That's awful. I don't like it. I don't like it at all.
I don't like your
It's,
ice cream take.
Oh, we got to look. We got to get spicy sometimes, and sometimes ice cream is worth it. If I'm having like pie, ice cream, 100%. I will always have ice cream with pie.
Oreo,
But if it's just like
fucking
if we're just
cookie dough,
after
fucking
like
moose
we're just
tracks.
after supper, yeah. But I'm not like a 4-year-old child. I don't need. Give me
I'm not
candy
listen.
after
I'm not saying I'm
supper.
eating ice cream all the fucking time. It's very once in a blue moon.
Just-
Maybe you got a fucking Ben and Jerry's
Yeah, but that's
thing,
what I'm
or-
saying. That's
well,
what I'm
but I
saying.
love
You're-
it. I just know I can't eat it all the time. If I could eat ice cream every fucking day, Armchair, I would. But I can't. I know I can't do
You
that.
can.
I'll be
I mean, you
500
can.
pounds.
You're a grown up. You can do whatever you want. I don't know
I
if you
have
heard
enough
this.
dairy in my life.
No. What's a better dairy, cheese or ice cream?
It's cheese.
It's cheese. I don't
It's
even know why you're
cheese.
thinking about
It's
this.
che-
It's
no,
cheese.
I was.
It's
I
cheese.
wasn't thinking. I was upset. So I had to say cheese. I'm trying to defend ice cream, and you gave me it put me in a rock and a hard place. I can't answer that.
Oh, we're fully off the rails.
Which child is your favorite? It's fun. Ice cream
My
and
own-
cheese, dude.
The only one I have. The only one I have.
I know,
Makes
but
it
I'm
super
saying that's
easy.
the question you're posing to
I
me
know.
right now.
I know. Look, Look, I'm just saying, ice cream, I don't need it. If I'm at the grocery store and I'm buying food, I have no problem blasting by the ice cream section.
I
No
don't
problem.
either, but if I do stop, God, when I have that ice cream, it's gonna be a good night.
All right. Let's take a trip down memory lane for a second here.
Yeah, let's do
Uh
football. I got a lot of off-season
two
football stuff we can talk real
two
quick
weeks
too.
ago, barely 2 weeks ago, we had just wrapped our show. It might have been Thursday night, 2 weeks ago, and Jeremy reached out. I reached out to him saying, "Great job with your content. Really appreciate the mock drafts. You're doing great job with it. Keep it up, man." And he said, "Tank can't go to Indy. Can you get there?" And that set forth a crazy series of events, which involved me taking multiple planes and landing in Indianapolis for the NFL
They all
Combine,
landed safely, by the way.
all of them did, where I was officially a member of the media.
Let's go.
I have my badge and everything with my face on it. It says NFL Combine, presented by Microsoft Copilot, because everything's
Bumping
sponsored.
elbows with Mike Vrabel and Ian Rappaport.
And we just went to town. So I have a couple of big takeaways from the combine that I want to get to, and I think first and foremost, it's that whenever you hear a stupid rumor, it's made up. It's not real. Like, wait for someone credible to do it. We saw this last year with baseball, where they
You
were
saw
like,
this last year with
I
baseball.
saw this. I saw this. I saw it all the time. But who was it who was going to sign with the Red Sox? Oh, they were talking about Juan Soto to the Red Sox. It's like guaranteed, and Buddy like staked his career on it and whatever. And now he's I don't know, selling something somewhere. It's not good.
Drugs,
He's
probably.
not doing this
Yeah,
anymore. Probably drugs. Um,
perhaps.
we had absolute insane rumors. First of all, Gronk coming out of retirement to potentially join the Broncos, which Rap Sheet just replied, "Nope, not true."
Yeah.
Phenomenal response for one. The guy had no sources. He literally left the next day.
That's
Did not stay at the combine.
that's like the
Disappeared.
the media equivalent of just like dunking on somebody. Just being like,
My
"Oh, actually no, my sources are better than yours and you don't know what you're talking about." That's not true. I'm Ian
it,
Rappaport.
as I often say, it's free to say shit, and
Sure is.
and that guy said shit. And then we had the Jordan
I'm glad he
Schultz.
left. I'm glad he had the wherewithal to leave.
It was like, oh, I guess
I have
I suppose I'm gonna
overstayed my
go.
welcome. I'm gonna go ahead and hit the road.
I guess I'm out.
I'm
So
not
he
even gonna
left.
refund the hotel room. I'll eat that.
I,
I just need to get out of
uh,
here.
my favorite part was the next one though, because Jordan Schultz came out and said that Tom Brady was whining and dining at Stafford in Montana, at a ski resort, which
Tom
just happened
Brady
to be the
wouldn't be
largest ski
caught dead in
resort.
Utah.
For one, that's tampering, and Tom Brady, out of
He's the
anyone,
goat.
has the most amount of heat and scrutiny on him when it comes to rule breaking. If there ever was
Allegedly.
someone to have heat on them from rule breaking, so he would not be caught dead tampering. That's an instant loss of draft pick. Why would he put himself in that position?
Is it his fault that
And
he's the GOAT and certain quarterbacks want to come talk to him in the offseason to potentially get pointers, advice, tips, and tricks, maybe something like that? That's not his
I
fault.
the what happened was this ski resort is very popular with a lot of people, and two people that happen to work in the same industry both booked to be there at the same time. They weren't together. They passed each other, and we're like, "Oh, hey, what are you doing here?" And he's like, "Skiing." What do you mean? What am I doing here? It's a ski resort. So they passed each other and they said, "Hey, what's up?" And then they left. And then Rapshi came out and said, Tom Brady did not wine and dine him. My sources are better than yours. Get good. And he did not like that. So
Nope.
he,
Some people don't like getting
unlike
dunked on, Armchair.
the other guy, just was like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna go." This guy went to Starbucks at the JW
First of
Marriott
all,
and was
pause.
like,
We don't fight in
"Yes,
Starbucks. We fight in like Waffle Houses and things of that
yes,
nature. Starbucks is not a
yes."
place to fight. You can't fighting in
Starbucks is not this way.
Starbucks is like that doesn't count.
No. So he went after rap sheet. He's not very tall. He's not a tall man. He's pretty short. But he went after him. He was like, "Don't you ever disrespect me and tell me that my sources aren't credible and blah 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 blah." And then rap sheet became the he just shut it down. Just shut it down. And then of course Stafford re-signed with the Rams, and none of it was true.
That's why he's the best.
He's the best. He's the best. He was just taking souls. He was Highlander.
One more Rappaport story.
I mean, we saw he was out late. Let's just put it this way: he was out late at a place where he probably shouldn't have been out late.
Was up first thing in the morning though.
8:00, bright-eyed, bushy-tailed on TV.
That's why he's the best.
Spent a lot of time on the radio and doing live shows with Jeremy Green of Sportsocracy. Make sure to share the love with him. You can go check me out on their videos. I am all over them for a bunch of the mocks. I am pretty sure I know the order of at least the first 3, potentially the first 4 picks of the NFL draft. I'm pretty confident up to 7.
Yeah.
Yeah. After that, it gets a little squirrely because people can do a lot of different things. And of course, we still have like 40 something days until the draft. So lots of things can change. But I can tell you that I feel pretty confident that Abdul Carter is going 1.
He is still plus money on DraftKings, by the way. I've already put in my wager today, and it is a hefty one.
The Titans' only way out of that is to trade down. I don't think they're willing to. They don't want to trade for any of the quarterbacks in this class, and people are like, they need a quarterback.
Not one of those ones. They don't.
These ones aren't great. And they don't like any of them, so they have no interest in that. Take the best player available, shore up your defense. He is a generational talent. Build around him. Abdul Carter at 1. At 2, we heard basically from Shefty that the one thing that he is 100% sure of is that Cleveland is taking a quarterback. The best quarterback in this draft is Cam Ward. Cam Ward at 2.
He had a great combine, too.
Great combine.
He was already the number 1 quarterback on the board, and then all he did was solidify that.
Yeah, he did very well for himself, and that will be your number 2. The number 3 pick is the one that gets everybody all twisted.
That's because it's the Giants and their fan base are lunatics most of the time.
Well, it's partly because it's the Giants and it's their fan base. It's partly because this guy is rated way down on a lot of draft boards and probably is not projected to go as high, but it's Shedeur Sanders to the Giants, and everybody's going to say, why would they do that? Why would he go there? Well, we're pretty sure that at this point, Jeremy commented today that he feels like there was some sort of like guarantee given, like we're going to take you. He wore those Giants cleats at the BYU game, and people seem to have forgotten that.
Yeah.
And then he didn't interview very well with other teams that were interested in quarterbacks, which kind of feels like self-sabotage. Like, I would like to get out of this, so I'm just going to act nonchalant. His media availability, unhinged.
Yeah, you posted one big chunk of it.
That was it. That was the whole thing.
That was the whole
13
thing?
minutes.
Yeah.
That was the whole thing. 13 minutes of his.
I think I watched like the first 7 or 8 minutes of it. Maybe that's why I didn't finish it.
Yeah. So Shedeur at 3, and this is where I am not as confident, but I feel good about. The Patriots are going to take Travis Hunter at 4. Travis Hunter is the best player in this draft by prospect rank.
They also already said that they're changing their draft strategy from last year, where they drafted pretty much solely based on team need, and are going to be taking best players available.
Travis Hunter is the best player available, and at this rate, they're not taking him at 1.
Nope.
And after 1, it's 2 quarterbacks. Could the Giants screw things up and take Travis Hunter? Maybe. If they do, then the Patriots will draft Will Campbell. It's not crazy. If
the Patriots get Travis Hunter, I want 2 wide receiver sets with Marcus Jones and Travis Hunter.
Yes, please. He wants to play both sides of the ball, and the rumor is around the combine that
I was going to ask you if you learned any more about that and what teams were feeling on that front.
Most teams...
I understand he's probably going to see both sides of the ball, at least in
Yes.
some form or fashion. But he's very adamant that he's going to be playing like starter consistency on both sides of the ball, and I think that's
He will
asinine.
he will absolutely be a starter as a corner. He will get starter reps there. I think that you're going to have to look at what wide receiver sets work best.
Right.
You're not going to have him in your like he's not your slot guy. You know what I mean? Like you
Right.
can't just put him out there and like have him crushed and then he has to miss a bunch of plays because he was playing a bunch of go routes or something. You can't do that. So I think that he'll probably play some wide receiver, mostly corner, but he will play both. He will play both. And then the draft really starts at 5. It really starts at 5, and that's when you can start seeing. The only other pick that I saw that I was like, yeah, I really like. Raiders will probably take Genty.
See, that's
Excuse me.
that's wild to me, and it's not a knock on Genty. Just the way the Raiders are moving is crazy. It's like they have already decided that they're going to be getting Sam Darnold,
Well,
and they're
we'll talk about that in a second. I'll tell you why we think that.
Max Crosby
Oh,
just signed that massive deal today. And
good.
like I just don't think this team is good enough to just plug Sam Darnold in and draft Ashton Genty and go, you know what? That's here we go. We're off to the playoffs
I mean,
in a
it's,
division with Kansas City, the Broncos, and the Chargers.
Kansas City's going to regress
That's
a bit, I
six,
think.
but
There's
that's
still
still
the chance.
6 games where you're probably
I know.
not going to be favored in.
I know. Don't be surprised. I'm just telling you what I think is going to happen. And then 7 is Jackson Dart, and that's Jeremy Source, close to the Jets. They love the guy. They're going to likely go after him. He had a great combine. Like he really had a good combine.
Yeah, he did.
His interview is like his media availability was great. I sat through that whole thing as well. He looked really good on the field. It was
All
awesome.
year I've thought he's had the highest ceiling out of the three.
He looks good. I don't think they're gonna. The reason they're gonna take him at 7 is because he won't make it around again.
Right.
He won't make it fully around the
No,
board.
somebody
If
would
you
take a
leave him
flyer on him in the 20s or something.
100%, you've got teams down there that may need a quarterback, but not
Pittsburgh.
right away. That are if you let him go, that's where he's going. So that's where I end. After that, it could be kooky dukes. There's a lot of. It's a deep draft. It's a deep draft
Anybody you think's
for
going to be
wide
falling?
receivers. Yes, Tet McMillan will fall.
Yeah. Didn't run. Bold choice.
He didn't run. Matthew Golden will rise. Someone will take a flyer on his. He ran a 4.29 40, and that is electric.
Yeah.
Isaiah Bond will fall because he said he was going to run a 4.19
Yeah.
40,
He
and he
like
ran
a 4
like
4
four.
or something.
He ran a 4.41 the first time, and I
Yeah.
think his official is a 4.3 something, 4.39 maybe.
Here's 3 8.
Yeah, so he still ran faster, but you can't come out talking your mouth like run your mouth, and then not deliver.
Right.
So I think those guys will fall. And then today, post combine, first of all, stop smoking crimes and doing mock drafts. It's not a good idea. People are like, Ted McMillan's going to go first overall, and I'm like, stop it, just stop it. You're making no sense. You're just saying things. Second of all, we had first of all, the Eagles spent $1 billion. They re-upped Barkley, and then they re-upped Bond for big money.
Big money.
Big money on
Saquon
Zach Bond.
got 40 mil guaranteed on a 2-year extension. Bond got
Crazy money.
51 mil over 3. I think 35 guaranteed.
Fourth
and then
highest paid.
released
linebacker.
Darius Slay and Bradbury, and our Discord apparently forgot that Quinion Mitchell and Cooper DeJean exist. Like, why would you get rid
Yes.
of your 2 best corners? Like, they were not their 2 best corners.
Because they didn't.
Because they didn't. They still have those guys on
still have
rookie
those
deals,
guys.
actually.
Yeah. They're doing big things.
Also, don't
Max
question.
Crosby,
Let's stop questioning anything Howie Roseman does. It's gonna pay off.
he'll figure it out. Max Crosby signs big money today.
Big money, like huge money.
He wanted to trade like a couple weeks ago.
I
He was
would
ready
too.
to go. He was like, "I'm out," and then they were like, "Hold on, Ty." The way I imagine that goes is Tom Brady calls him into a room with Pete
Yeah.
Carroll there and goes, "This is what we're going to do.
This is gonna be
We're gonna sign-"
different.
Yeah. Sam Darnold. We're going to get the USC connection back. Pete Carroll and Sam Darnold back together again. It feels so good.
Reunited.
Yeah. and we're gonna go. We're gonna win some football games, and they did a sell job on him because he was like in. They're also like, I'll give you a ton of money, and he was like, that makes this way easier.
Yep.
Losing is fine when I'm paid so much money. So he did well. He got a huge contract. I don't have the terms in front of me. You might, but it was massive.
There's
The
90
Crosby
mil
deal was
guaranteed on 3-year extension. I think it's up to like 101 or something, 103. It's 90 mil
unreal.
guaranteed though. It's crazy.
Oh, Michael Bunting being traded from Pittsburgh to Nashville. Luke Shen and Tommy Novak are part of the return.
Tommy fucking Novak.
More NHL trades. They're going to get spicier and spicier.
Yep. Up.
And then we had every free agent. The poor Patriots. Let me tell you this. Patriots have the most money to spend in free agency, and every free agent's like, I'm just going to re-sign. T. Higgins, franchise.
Trey Smith,
Franchise.
franchised.
They weren't getting Trey Smith, but they were definitely getting T. Higgins. They were going to throw everything at. I think
we're about to give Ronnie Stanley $70 million a year. Just to
well,
get a
apparently,
on this team.
apparently there's a framework in works for re-signing Stanley with the Ravens.
Well, I would hate
I don't
that.
know.
I also know the Chiefs want him badly.
Everybody wants him badly, but
We have the most money. I need him. We need him. Bring him in.
We need him.
I also saw we were
so
attached to was it Tevin Jenkins from the Bears?
Yeah.
I liked him coming out, but he's just been injury prone and a turnstile. So what is that going to do for us? I don't know. I'm more interested in our wide receiver prospects than O-line. A lot of receivers on the move.
Patriots can grab a guy. So Kirk is cut. Christian Kirk was released today. So was Tyler Lockett.
Yep.
Both let go today.
And
DK
Devontae.
Metcalf is, yes, Devontae, although I want nothing to do with Devontae's.
I don't really want him either.
I don't mind the idea of Christian Kirk.
I want DK.
I don't mind. I want DK too, but he wants to go to a contender, and you would have to ask him to sit for 2 years to get there. We're not. The Patriots are not winning the Super Bowl next year.
No,
they're not there yet.
We could be frisky next year if this offseason goes well.
Yes, but they're like 2 years away from being back in contention.
Yep.
And until then, that's what they are.
But that's why Cup makes less sense to me because I don't know.
I don't like
Cup.
Cup.
Way less tread on the tires than DK.
No, I mean, I like Cooper Cup. Like, I think he's a great receiver. I don't think he's a great fit for the Patriots.
No.
I think that Christian Kirk is.
I like Kirk. I think he's super underrated.
He's a tall guy. He played really well, and then he disappeared in that offense.
He was fantastic that first year they signed him in Jacksonville when everyone went, why the fuck did you give Christian Kirk that money? And then he balled out.
Yes, he did. I think there's an opportunity there. I think you have to sign one of those.
There's also Brandon Ayuk on the trade block, which we already did this song and dance. He doesn't want to be here. I saw people being like, "Oh, DK Metcalf doesn't want to be here. Trade for Brandon Ayuk." It's like he literally told us he didn't want to be here. Why are we gonna go trade for a guy that just broke his leg and he's being paid 30-something mil? Like, fuck that.
No,
that's a bad choice. Christian Kirk I like because it's gonna be cheap. Well, a hell of a lot cheaper than some of the other options. Again, I like DK. I think that's a solid choice. I think that's your best option, but you need to convince him to come here.
You're going to have to do some convincing.
And I want nothing to do with Devontae Adams.
No.
So then you're left with, what, Chris Godwin? I like Chris Godwin, but same thing as Ayuk. He just broke his fucking leg. He's an older receiver. How much money are you actually going to toss his way?
I'd be okay with Godwin and someone.
Right, me too. I'm fine with that.
Godwin and Kirk, and then you grab Hunter in the first, and it's like all of a sudden your room isn't Kendrick Bourne and Bob Douglas.
Sleeping on Jacoby Myers like he's not a potential number one option. He's not a bona fide number one like some of these names, but like the guy has been absolutely fantastic the last couple seasons. He had no drops last year. He was over 1,000 yards. I believe he's been over 100 catches twice, if not close to twice. Like, I don't even hate a Jacoby Myers reunion.
Bring him home. See if he's willing. I wonder why. Was that a Bill thing or was that a Bob thing?
It was a Bill thing. He
'Cause
didn't give the money. He gave the same amount of money to fucking Juju.
I know he did. It was stupid.
It was a Bill thing.
All right.
'Cause Bill
Anything else
doesn't
on the
know
NFL?
receivers.
No, he doesn't. Bill doesn't.
Dak and
Worst draft of my
CD
life.
both restructured their contracts so that the Cowboys could re-sign Odigizua, 4-year, $80 million deal.
Yep.
Debo Samuel was traded to the Commanders. Shane Daniels gets another weapon. Got to take some of
We
the
got
pressure off Terry McLaurin. You guys got to break that to the Commanders
We
people,
broke
right?
that to the Commanders front office. Yeah, the
That's
Commanders.
fucking awesome.
Logan Paulson, shout out former tight end, 10 years in the league, was hanging out behind us at the quarterback, running back, wide receiver workouts, and we were just chatting. And then we got the news. The Fantasy Pros guys were with us as well, and they were like, "Oh man, Debo got traded to the Commanders," and they were like, "Excuse me, pardon?" And one of the other guy that was with him is a front office guy, and he's like, "I had it. I didn't tell anyone." And I believe him. Probably wasn't supposed to tell anyone.
Yeah, probably.
But it broke.
Yeah.
It broke, and we got to break it to that guy, which was super fun.
Oh, yeah, you just got Debo. So yeah, that's gonna be huge for them. Another target for your star quarterback franchise.
Yep.
Terry McLaurin gets some pressure taken off of him. You're not gonna have to rely on guys like, no offense, Olamide Zaccheaus, De'Ami Brown, like
Or
Noah
Olamide
Brown.
Zaccheaus.
We're good on
Future.
all that. Hey, you made me a
Future
fuckload of
Patriot.
money this year. Oh, shout out Olamide Zaccheaus. I had him in touchdown bets several times this year.
Future Patriot, Olamide Zaccheaus. Throw $1 million at that guy.
Yeah, him and Devontae
Awful.
Adams.
Great.
Darnold and Ronnie Stanley, notable players not to get a franchise tag sent their way. Mason Crosby retired. And Sam
Pretty good
Hubbard.
kicker.
Sam Hubbard, 29 years old, retiring for the Bengals.
You're going to see more of that.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to see more of it. Guys are looking at the future and they're going, "Are we going to win next year? If it's not yes, then I'm immediately out."
Oh, and then the
don't blame-
Bears. Bears have done 2 offensive line trades trying to beef that protection up for Caleb Williams. They got Jonah Jackson from the Rams for a 6th-round pick, and Super Bowl pedigree, former Patriot, Joe Thuney, for a 4th-round pick. So I think those are both good deals for the Rams. For the Bears, excuse me. You need to get anything back there to protect Caleb.
You need something.
Yeah. You keep missing in the draft on him, so...
Well, their number one target was Trey, and he got franchise tagged immediately. So,
right.
So that was the number. That was the most likely to go to the Bears, and then Stanley to the Patriots. Javon Holland, is he still available? We might get him.
I'd love Javon Holland.
We can throw a lot of money. We have like literally hundreds of millions of dollars. So.
And they keep pushing the cap up. They're like, "No, actually, it's this. No, actually, it's this. Actually, you got even more money."
NVM, it's this. All right, hit us with the Stone stories and get us out of here for the night.
Sounds good to me. We are going to St. Louis tonight. For the 2nd time in less than a year, a man is charged with attempting to engage in a sexual act with a train seat. St. Louis County prosecutors charged D'Angelo Covington on Tuesday with 2 counts of misdemeanor sexual misconduct. He's currently confined in the county jail without bond, pending a March 3rd reduction hearing. Maybe he's out. Who knows? According to a St. Louis County Police probable cause statement, a victim told investigating officers, also a victim, was it the fucking train seat? That on February 13th, she saw Covington at the UMSL South platform. At the time, he allegedly had his genitals exposed and was moving them around until the victim boarded the train. That's, what he was doing. A little nut juggling.
Yep.
He was...
Yeah.
Listen, we've all walked by somebody who's, not currently, doesn't have a residence. And they're doing some crazy shit. I went to a Price Chopper once. It was like probably 10 years ago. I was like 16. And late at night, they're about to close, walked through the front doors, and dude's just going to town on the carts. It's like, I thought it smelled in here.
You do you, man.
Yeah. People do some weird shit. Later that day, police learned Covington boarded the train at the Central West End station near Lambert Airport. He allegedly exposed himself and attempted a sexual act for about 10 minutes with the upper bar of a train seat. As I said earlier, this is the second time in 10 months that he's been arrested doing the same thing. I would like to think that in between those 10 months, this man has been looking for the exact train seat. Like maybe he found love. Maybe this was a love story for the ages, and he's been looking, searching for the right train seat. And he finally got back
Just
there.
searching.
Yeah, just a monogamous American trying to find love. Um, both the incidents were caught on surveillance video. Charges filed Tuesday come about 10 weeks after Covington was released from the county jail on a separate sexual misconduct charge. Covington pleaded guilty in that case on December 9th and was sentenced to time served. Prosecutors also told the news station that they were limited in seeking a harsher sentence because the offenses did not have an element of physical contact. I would argue that they did.
I would argue
that there was a lot of physical contact. He was juggling his balls in front of a train station and then proceeded to fuck the top of a chair in front of. Listen, public transport is crazy. Sometimes you get hit with the junkie jump scare where you gotta like step over somebody who's nodded off, and you're like, oh, I don't know if he's gonna freak out when I step over him. Like that's where Boston transport is. But like you're jerking off in public, broad day. That should be enough to be arrested right there. Like, hey, he's that guy. And
Probably
could you imagine the fear of walking by the guy that's like, fucking beating it on a train station? You get on the train and he follows you on the train. You're like, oh, good lord! Like
Pretty sure that's a Chappelle Show skit.
Somebody get him off of here. Like, well, how did he get on here? He definitely doesn't have a ticket. There's no money on that Charlie card.
That was a Chappelle Show skit. I'm 100% sure at this point.
I just rewatched the. I watch it all the time, but the Charlie Murphy.
We'll be back next week, same time as usual, 8 p.m. Eastern.
Yep.
Right? Yeah. Yep. 8 p.m. So, listen, I've been in different time. I've been all over the place. I'm still tired. I'm recovering. I slept 10 hours on Monday.
Armchair did America.
Did America. So much Jack in the Box. It's unbelievable. 39 mini tacos in a box? What are we even talking about?
Just two dudes splitting 39 tacos at the combine. What a day.
A couple of guys having some tacos and some nuggies. It's all right. It's good news. For Dubs, I'm Armchair. We'll see you next week.